what's up? I'm Cody, and today we're going to be reviewing the Eart GW2 Headless. First things first, this guitar was sent to me for free on the agreement that I would do a review for the instrument. However, I haven't been given any kind of script, and that won't be coloring my opinion of the guitar in any way. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it. So, this is an Eart GW2 Headless. Eart is a Chinese guitar company. You can find them on Amazon. And they make a array of instruments. They have like Les Paul styles, Telecaster styles. I saw some good reviews from them from people like Philip McKnight and thought that I would reach out and see if they'd be interested in sending me a guitar. So they did send me their GW2 Headless. They also have a GW2 Pro, which has a different body style slightly and a completely different bridge system, which is important, and we'll touch on that later. So I think the first thing we ask ourselves when we look at something like this is, can an instrument from a Chinese manufacturer that costs 365 US dollars be any good? Is it even worth playing? Well, prior to getting this guitar, I would have said, no, you're out of your mind. Don't waste your money. Save up some more money and get something else, because it's not going to be a playable guitar. You're just not going to have a good time. They have completely changed my opinion on that. So let's take a look at the specs on the guitar, and then we'll go over the quality and the fit and finish. So for the guitar, we have a standard 25.5-inch scale length. So it's going to be your standard Fender scale length. Very familiar, very comfortable, nothing that you're not used to. We have a dual humbucker setup with a 3-way selector switch, volume, tone. The pickups are going to be modeled after the older Gibson pickups, and they're surprisingly good, especially for an in-house pickup. I was expecting those to be just horrible, and I'm pleasantly surprised with them. I would happily take these out and put them in like an SG or something, and I don't think anyone would ever call you out on it. We have a poplar burl veneer on the top, and the veneer does have really nice figuring all the way through it, and that goes down to the wood below there, so you can actually see bits of red here, and I'll do some close-ups of this so that you can see it better. But you can see the body underneath the veneer, which is nice. It has a satin, you can almost say raw tone finish. You can feel all of the grooves in the wood. On the back, we have a Padauk body, which I do believe is a redwood. So we have a full Padauk body here, very nice. Also with that raw finish, you can feel all of the grain in it, and just beautiful wood, really. I'm very surprised by how beautiful all of the woods on this guitar is. We have a maple Padauk neck. So we have a 5-piece neck. with those Paduke stripes. And this is a roasted maple neck, which is astonishing in the price range. I'm not sure I've ever owned a roasted maple neck sub 800 USD and up from there. It is a bolt-on construction with a nice carve on the hill, so it doesn't get in the way if you're one of the wheedly people and you're down here making girlfriends. You're going to be able to impress that lady at your local biker bar just down there, free birding it up. So I think that's good. We do have stainless steel frets, which is another thing that I'm quite shocked by. Stainless steel frets I don't have on a single guitar under 1,000 USD. $365. This guitar comes with stainless steel frets, and hell, you even get an extra one. It's got a 0 fret here. So I think it just helps with intonation, helps keep some of that rattle down, just gives it an extra float point there that's a consistent right by the nut. So it's not just the nut height that it's working off of. It's played great, so I guess it's working. I think more importantly than the additional free fret is the fret finishing on these. We don't have a high spot, a low spot, any jagged edges. All of the fret ends are perfectly rounded off. And it's probably safe to say it has better fret work than almost any of my guitars. And that's a little aggravating to say the least, but it's a good look for Eart, that they're putting that much attention to detail. I mean, I've bought some guitars in the last year or two from big box names. I'm not going to bother saying who. That came to me with just horrible fit and finish and quality control issues. Binding, popping off of the fretboard, sharp fret ends, whole pieces of wood gouged out and missing around locking nuts on Floyd Rose systems. And these are brand new guitars, all over $1,000, which used to be a lot of money for a guitar. In my eyes, it still is. If you're spending over $1,000, you should be getting really good attention to detail, but that just doesn't appear to be the case. So that's another good point for them is this fret work. The fretboard is a rosewood fretboard. And what I like about it is it does have some color variation here to it. Every piece of rosewood I've ever had has been a uniform brownish red up and down. This one actually has some figuring in it. So does that mean it's like a cheaper wood? I don't know, but I know it looks nice. From there, we've got the retaining system where you're going to put your balls. So you can see right there that the slide in at the top, and that's secured by 2 screws. You then run your string down, and that goes into your bridge system here. So this has a Floyd Rose style fine tuner system, only that is your only tuning system that you're going to have access to, is these fine tuners. Your string comes through here, goes over a roller saddle, so kind of like a Kaler style system where you have those rollers instead of a traditional saddle. And then that feeds into a tuning post, if you will, that you then wind your string around and then tighten here at these fine tuners. And that also comes with a little magnetized ratchet or gear, whatever you want to call it, that you can put down. It fits in, and you can use it to tune your guitar up if you're making big tuning adjustments. You can turn them by hand for fine tuning, just keeping it stable, but they are kind of hard to turn. And then after you're done with that, you just slide that right back in that magnet. You're not going to lose it. It's right there. I've taken the guitar, shaken it up and down. I've got no fears that it's going to fall out. I think you could travel with it. You could play gigs with it. You're not going to have any issue. So with that said, let's go over the overall quality of the guitar. I would rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. I'd give it a solid 8, 9. I'm not really finding anything major that I would be concerned about with it. It's got a few little things. There's some little finish flaws here on the edge of the fretboard where they put in the 12th fret double dot side markers. Whoop-de-doo. I've seen that. Some kind of issue with the clearing or something right there on almost every instrument I own. So not worried about that. And that's about it. But if I'm being honest, that's all I found on it, which is pretty sweet. I mean, $365. You get a guitar with exotic wood, stainless steel frets, decent electronics, no issue. And I think taking it out of the box really surprised me because it was in tune and it was set up. It had dropped a half step in shipping, but otherwise it was perfectly in tune. And I've not done a setup on this guitar. I've just had to tune it, and it stays in tune really well. You know, you would think Chinese guitar, it's not going to stay in tune. You know, especially at this price. No name bridge from a company called KD. Maybe they're not no name. I've just never heard of them. But it stays in tune really well. I've got no issues there. So yeah, fit and finish, 9 out of 10. Step it up, guys. Come on. If you're at a big box organization and you're aware of these guitars, maybe you should look at your quality control because yeah, it's ridiculous. So with that done and that out of the way, let's go ahead and go over some tones. So we're running right now into my EVH 5153. That's going into a 2 notes torpedo captor, going into Studio One with the 2 notes wall of sound. So we're using a real amp tone here, and then I've got Own Hammer oversized Mesa cab with a 57. I think it's like the first one in the pack for the 57 microphones. All right, and we're gonna have a little reverb on these clean tones just because that's how I like it. We'll start with the neck pickup. Really like how clean and glassy the neck pickup is. Very nice, very clean pickups. Really like them so far, especially for being random in-house pickups. I mean, you know, you know what I'm talking about. You buy cheaper guitars. First thing it's got to go is the pickups. Those normally are just hot fucking garbage, but these really like them. We're gonna go over to the blue channel. We've got an overdrive, Max on OD 808, just running as a clean boost. Do some more tones. Let's try out this bridge pickup. left my delay on the whole time. I didn't even know it was on. So first little part of that, it had a little delay on it, but yeah, I think that sounds really good. It's nice and thick. Nice and thick. Little bassy for my needs. I'm not sure that I would use these for modern metal, but like old school thrash, maybe like 90s death, older black metal, any kind of rock and roll. I think they'd be great for that. Go ahead and do a quick middle position here. Go on to the red channel. Now I'm not going to use a boost here because it's the red channel of a 5153. Kind of redundant at that point. You have so much gain going. Very usable. Very usable pickups. Very surprised by that. Quite happy with them. Would I keep them? Yes and no. I guess it depends on what your end game with this guitar is. Are you going to use it in a death metal project? Change the pickups. You're going to use it in a prog project? Probably keep the pickups. Blues, anything like that? They're going to be fine. I think if you lean towards more extreme musics, go ahead and swap those dudes out. Put something that's going to suit that style in there better. Otherwise, I think they're pretty good. I'm probably going to pull them out and put them in an old JB Player SG that I've been restoring, and that's where they'll find a new home at. This will get probably some black winners, but we'll see how it goes. So with all of that covered and said, and all the shenanigans and hoops jumped through, would I recommend this guitar to you? Yes and no. Are you a beginner guitarist? Do you know anything about the upkeep of instruments? If the answer is no to that, I would say go ahead and stay away from a headless guitar. Just because it is kind of weird to restring it and set it up, and it's going to be a bigger learning curve, and less people are going to be able to help you with that because there's still, as far as mass consumers are concerned, a relatively new concept. I mean, we've had headless guitars since the 80s, but you probably don't know very many people that have one unless you're into, new age metal where they're super popular right now. So I'd probably stay away from them if that's the case. Anybody else, if you're looking for a cheap instrument I think this is a very good pick. I don't know that you can go wrong. At least the variant I've been sent has been spectacular. And that's pretty much the opinion that I've seen from everybody. I think there's one or two bad reviews floating around, but the general consensus that they're really good instruments. So I think you'd be safe picking one up, especially as like a modding platform. Maybe you want to put some better pickups in it, change the pots. Other than that, this thing's pretty good to go. The only variable is this bridge system. I just don't have any experience with it. I don't know how long it's going to last. We're probably going to tune this thing down to like C standard or something, see if it can handle those bigger gauge strings, and we'll make a video about that later with the pickup swap and the bigger strings and just see how it does. If you like this video, I'm looking at making this a more regular thing, so feel free to hit that like button, maybe demolish the subscribe button, right? Because that's what you have to say. You gotta say stupid stuff like that. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you're looking at content wise. Like, what do you like to see? Is there a piece of gear you'd want reviewed? Just give me ideas. I'll be more than happy to help accommodate that. We've got a Tonex pedal coming soon, so we're going to be making some videos about that. Doing some live captures with my 5150 and doing some live captures at my buddy's studio where he has a lot of older Mesa heads. So that's going to be super cool. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, I've been Cody. Thanks for stopping by.